All right, well, let's find out which green-white deck can get it done. I'm going to send it on over to Ailey and Corey here for round number 10.
Thank you so much, Maria. Welcome to some more draft coverage here of the Pro Tour Minneapolis. Corey I called you wrong. Corey Baumeister. There we go. We're just warming up, friends. Alongside myself, Ailey Loney. It's lovely to have you here. And we have an awesome matchup indeed. Some green-white, just beat 'em up style magic here in the limited portion of our tournament. So let's get to it. Let's shake a leg and see what these players, how they can improve their records and what shenanigans they get up to, Corey.
Let's do it. Yeah, both decks look really strong. There's some bombs aplenty here in the form of Sunfall. I believe we even have Giganta as a companion here for Charis. So really nice decks. Should be a really good match.
Should indeed. I personally like the green-white deck in this. If you can get a Botanical Brawler or two, as we see in Javier Dominguez's list, you are going to be having a good time with the backup mechanics. So
yeah, that card can really get out of hand. And there we do see for Charis there, Giganta in the top right-hand corner. Whenever you just get 8 total cards, that extra card in Constructed, it's excellent. In Limited, it's super excellent, and it's much more impactful. You know me, I'd prefer Yorion, but Giganta, very good as well.
We can't all open the big Sky Noodle, all right?
There we go.
Swordsworn Cavalier, the first creature down on the board here, up against an equally fearsome foe, especially when this card flips. This guy making copies of itself, the Sunblessed Guardian, is no joke.
Yeah, and Charis has a lot of backup here to be able to put on that Sunblessed Guardian. Then when you flip it, you're equally having as large of a second creature that's coming into play as well. So really powerful card in the deck. And Charis, for anybody who plays a lot of Magic Online, will know him as a little bit better as Mogged. Someone I've lost to so many times on Magic Online.
Hey, no shame in that. You don't feel bad when you lose to players of this caliber. So
exactly.
We have the Zalfiran Lancer joining the fray here up against the Cavalier, so gonna be doing some Knight things here, especially when you have a Knight ETB. You get the Vigilance, you get the buff.
Yeah.
So starting off here, looking pretty good here for Javier Dominguez.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a tempting trade as well there. I mean, you have a 2/2 that's already, one of the better uncommons, especially for the Celestia archetype, to not just trade with a 3/3, when it didn't have any help to back it up or anything. But looking at Javier's hand, it makes a lot of sense. You have Storm the Seed Core and Fertilid's Favor as two traps already, or 2 pump spells, excuse me. So it makes sense. Javier wants to try to take advantage of those cards.
Oh, man. Storm the Seed Core is such a bomb.
So good.
If you could, you're going to die plenty of times to that card. It's no shame in that either. But the Knights swinging in here, just a 3/3 at the time being, just screaming, block me. You know you want to.
Yep, exactly. Javier, a lot more. And holding up the creature there maybe as like, oh, yeah, you want to block? It's just going to go to the graveyard. There's nothing bad that's going to happen, when we know there is some shenanigans afoot.
Oh, yeah. Golden Scale Aeronaut coming up soon here for Javier Dominguez. Also has Fertilid's Favor and Storm Seed Core, like you mentioned. Chomping Kavu, Realmbreaker's Grasp, and Wary Thespian. Yeah, that's what you should be in this kind of format. Very wary indeed, as we see the Chomping Kavu give another counter to its buddies. So we're going to see a swing out here. Can't be blocked by Power 2 or less, but that is a 3/1 on the other side. So
yeah, Javier doing a little read, and we'll kind of inform you as well. On the flip side, it would turn into a 5/5 that when it attacks, it creates another 5/5, another 3/3 with 2 counters on it. So now Javier has a decision. Do you want to block with the 3/1 and Fertilid's Favor it to just take down the large creature, or use Fertilid's Favor to eat the 2/2 Vigilance and still have a creature left over?
Yeah. I mean, either way, I think getting rid of one of these creatures is a good place to start. So let's declare our blockers there with the Cavalier. Jump in the way of the Vigilant attacker. And Fertilid's Favor to get the lands, get the counters. I really like Fertilid, and I'm glad to see it make a resurgence here in Fertilid's Favor. So
yeah, there you go. Fertilid's Favor, Combat Trick used to be just a great 3-mana 2/2, right? You remove one and search for a land. Yeah, this is a card I didn't necessarily think was going to be that strong in this limited set, but ends up having some really nice synergies, and especially if you have any kind of splash. That's when I really love this card. Javier doesn't have a splash here, but still has enough power in the deck that it's deemed worth it.
Yeah, I think just being able to get ahead and get something off the board.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good card to include if you don't have any of the cheaper combat tricks or removal spells. So Looking pretty good here so far for Javier. A formidable foe on the other side in the seat of Charis Kikidis.
And looks like we do have the Knight where you can give all your first strikers double strike here in Javier's hand. Not necessarily any big synergies with the first strike right now, but that card gets so much better when you have a lot of backup.
Yeah.
Or if you have Storm the Seed Core. If you just put all 4 counters on that, that's 12 damage.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal. Yep. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah. Vigilance and Trample on a first strike or double striker, excuse me. That's pretty good indeed. But that's coming later. That's just a taste of things to come if Javier Dominguez has his way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So playing the Knight pre-combat there allows not only the Lancer to become a 4/4 to outsize the Kavu, but also the 3/1, now a 5/3, to be able to have first strike. So Charis really doesn't have any great blocks.
Yeah, no, it's basically just your Kavu is going to get chomped, unfortunately. Yeah. It's meant to do the chomping, but not this time around in this situation. And down to 14, you know, still a respectable life total, but seeing the Quendi there, he might be a little bit like, yeah, this is not great in a backup deck.
Yeah, not
at least
really.
for Charis. For Javier, it's great.
And just a chump block there.
Yeah, because if we go Golden Scale Aeronaut next turn, just that on Quendi, that's still a lot of damage coming through.
No kidding. Quendi with wings here is a very scary thing here for Charis. And Charis has a couple of decent things. A Grasp as probably the best card to interact a little bit. And then Knight Errant of Eos is an extremely powerful rare from the set.
Yeah.
But it's not very good at catching you up because to get value off that card, you do have to turn your creature sideways. So not exactly what Charis wants.
And not in the good way either, you know?
Yes.
Like, Convoking when you're on the back foot feels so bad.
So bad. So bad. Unless you're Convoking to cut short a creature or something like that in combat. It is becoming very, very bad pretty quickly.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's see where Charis goes here. Wary Thespian, gonna surveil. At least it's a something in the way here. You're not too mad if it dies. And Realmbreaker's Grasp does take care of one of these threats.
So the Seed Core right now just represents 12 damage that would have to be that would have to be blocked. So you could chump with the large 4/4 here from Charis.
Brawler into Storm the Seed
I sense
Core.
a combination, Haley.
Ouch. This is where you pick up your cards and run. Oh my goodness.
So Javier is incentivized to put counters on different creature because Brawler does only trigger off individual targets.
Yeah.
So ideally when you have Brawler, the thing you want to be doing is spreading out to 4 different creatures because then you get 4 counters onto Brawler. But when you have an incredibly powerful double striker here, you're definitely more incentivized to just be loading that up.
Oh, yeah.
And I like how Javier is distributing this because then that is just submitting a lethal attacker with the double striker. So
yeah, that's just like, if you weren't dead already, you're extra dead now.
Yeah.
Oh, not permanent.
It's very permanent for this instance.
So it should be coming a 4/4 unless I am missing something there for the Brawler.
Yeah, another second. Let's get to 4.
Yep, there we go.
There we go. Ew is all I have to say about that. So Quendi is now, what, 10?
Yep, Quendi is a 10-power creature coming in, so at least something has to get in the way, and just too much to come back from.
Owie.
Yeah,
okay, this deck is sweet from Javier Dominguez, former world champion.
Sweet. Really sweet, and unfortunately lost round 1 to, well, the current world champion from Javier. But yeah, this matchup seems a little bit better. The Rakdos Sacrifice up against this slower style Selesnya deck doesn't line up as well, but
Nathan Steuer is very quickly cementing himself as one of the best Magic players of all time.
It's unreal.
He is unbelievably good.
It's unreal. I mean, the last 2 events we commentated together, he was in the elimination matches on Sunday. It just seems like a right to just be saying Nathan Steuer on Sunday, you know?
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. Let's see if he can continue his run, see if he can maybe make another top 8 and tie up Luis Scott Vargas in that sense. But for now, 2 Enduring Bond Wardens, 3, I say now, on the board, along with an Alabaster Host Sanctifier, the lifelink on the other side, an excellent target for backup mechanics as well.
And another fun thing there about Nathan is in his free times, he'll come and attend some Star City Games events as well. Won it 2 weeks ago as well, just winning a modern event too on his spare time, you know. It is incredible, that's for sure.
Oh, man. Wary Thespian again, going to surveil. And then we've got Target Dune Shaper. I like this Jackal. I think he's cool.
I don't like it that way.
Becomes a little tramply friend. Yeah, it's hard to break habits of Magic players. You know, like put your library over there. Like, no, I don't wanna.
It really is hard. Yeah, absolutely. Got to get used to those feature matches. But this is Charis's Pro Tour debut. You know,
yeah, that's
and
awesome.
just doing so great already for his first Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it.
Excellent to see all these new faces on the Pro Tour, and we hope to see them several times over.
And wow, look at that hand alley from Javier. Just a nice one. You have the Alabaster, you have Storm the Seed Core, just picked up that Invasion, and then Sunfall if you need, as well as the Forest to be able to cast Storm the Seed Core. So, I mean, just a picture-perfect hand really for Javier so far. But that being said, we do have Knight Errant Eos to be able to pick up a couple of creatures here, and you can even get 4 drops here at this point.
Yeah, Knight Errant is an excellent card, and at this point in the game, you're happy to see it because you have a bunch of creatures on the board. You get to Convoke. You're at no risk of being one-shot on the crackback or anything like that. So
exactly. This is when Convoke style effects like this are at their premium for sure.
But
it's kind of like the later it gets in the game, the worse Convoke gets.
Yeah. 2 creatures with mana 1 or less.
Yeah. It should be 3 then?
Okay, but
it should be value 4 or less. So yeah, you can get
No, it's two creatures with mana.
X is the creatures that convoked. So it should be 3.
Yeah.
Or has he got more?
Nope, this is correct what Charis is saying.
I think you're right, but I've never played the cards, so I'm going to make a double check.
Yeah. And I mean, here's another thing for players at home that are like, you know, I just want to trust my opponent. I don't want to call a judge or something. This is a former world championship, former world champion. Just calling to double check. There's no shame in calling judges to make sure you know how your cards work.
Yeah. So it's gonna get the Billy Rider then.
Billy Rider and the Kavu. It gets both. It gets 2 creatures. Double checking that one there.
It's a great way to refill the hand.
Okay.
Billy Rider joins the fray. Another good target for backup.
A very good target for backup. So now it's going to be really interesting what Javier does here if you try to storm the Seed Core to try to get a little bit more aggressive, or what I kind of expected him to do here is play it a little bit more conservatively, a little more coy, and next turn line up Sunfall, which is going to be gigantic.
This is going to be a very big Sunfall indeed. As we see, Invasion of Dominaria hit the board, so 4 life and a card for Javier Dominguez. The backside of this card, pretty good, but, you know, at a certain point, you know, when do you ignore the battles?
You know, most of the time whenever you can paint a clear picture of how you are going to close out the game, you think if I make this attack and then next turn, it's going to be very difficult for them to stop this attack to make lethal, aka like have to play 2 removal spells, 2 creatures to get in front of the some blockers and stuff like that. So that's about the time. So when we're still at 24, 20 life, you would almost expect Javier to prioritize dealing with that invasion because on the backside, it is Sarah Angel. Yes.
The Angel is super tempting, but you know, at this rate, look at the number of creatures on this board. Like this has got to be like, I'd like this to be. I think it's getting late. It's Sunfall time.
I think so. Time to sunset here because Javier is about to have a phenomenal play next turn for Sunfall, and I think the one thing Javier really wants to do here is you can chump block away some of your creatures, but the one thing Javier wants to keep around is a grand total of 5 creatures on the battlefield so that you can incubate 5 to then pressure the invasion the following turn.
Yeah, for sure. Because at the moment, Charis is probably feeling pretty confident. Yeah, I can protect this battle, no problem.
Yeah. Confident on that, but this is open deck list for these players, so the Sunfall is known information. But I think Charis is at the situation where, like, I'm a Celestia aggro deck. I don't have any ways to play around Sunfall, and to be fair, there's not many ways in the format, so I just got to jam.
Yeah, you have to, like, I don't know. Scroll Shift doesn't get around it. What would even protect against that?
I mean,
Indestructible?
Indestructible doesn't work because it exiles.
It exiles,
so there really is not much besides countering it.
That's not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
9.
Sure.
Yep, there's
Sure,
Sunfall.
says Charis, reluctantly.
Exiled.
That's a big friend. Now, there is a creature in hand for Charis, but no 5th land.
It's a big creature, though. It can kill the incubate token if you're able to draw land, so big draw step.
Yeah, oh, okay, all right, we got it. And around the sail back, making sure there is no benefit from that Sunfall for Javier Dominguez. He would have loved to untap and wake up that little incubator token.
Yeah, absolutely. But all that being said, Javier's hand is stocked here.
He's like,
The Sunfall is definitely gone out of that hand, but we'll have
the follow-up is gross.
yeah, another land to just Alabaster host the creature if you want. Can get back a creature with this.
Yeah,
Plenty
Wildwood
of gas
Escort.
in the tank.
Yeah. That's a really cool card just to recur some of your the stuff that's been chucked in the bin. Not a super impressive card by itself, but definitely something that can help you out in the games that do go longer. And in this format, it is more of a mid-range grind fest. So
Definitely. And Javier's deck is not really on the aggressive Celestia backup plan trying to get you dead like Charis's deck. It is much more aligned with kind of a Celestia control deck and high synergies with these counters. You have Botanical Brawler, a bunch of backup as well, just not really as aggressively slanted.
yeah. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, okay. Speaking of Botanical Brawler, is that about to hit the board with the Bond Warden?
We got a great turn here, Ailey. You can go with Botanical Brawler and storm the Seed Core if you want to then pressure the invasion.
Yeah.
And just make sure, I mean, the 3/2 body is the only thing across the way, so as long as you at least have your 3/3
Get 3
high
of the
enough
counters?
to get up that.
Okay.
Doesn't decide to do it here, but you do have Fertilid's Favor as well as just another trick here.
This is the
Yeah. And you have to, this is probably not going to trade, but an Angel is bad news bears here for Charis Kikidis. So Fertilid's Favor again.
And you heard Charis say, "Is like I'm sure this is gonna work," and blocked.
Yeah, caught between a rock and a hard place, or in this case, a 5/5.
Yeah, absolutely. The one nice thing for Charis here is did have that Giganta able to be bought, so you have a little bit of hope here. But yeah, Javier's hand is still amazing.
Yeah.
Then during Bond Warden, not amazing, but Alabaster and Storm, very powerful cards in this battlefield.
The Alabaster Host Intercessor is just going to say, "Oh, hi, Gigantha.
Yeah.
You were a nice big buddy, but alas, no more." So here it comes. Great exile effect. And oftentimes with the Intercessor, you have to be careful about what you grab, because if there is a ETB creature that you need to nab with it, you're just going to get got by that effect again if that Intercessor is dealt with. But grabbing a token or something with it feels real good.
So good. Yeah, if you hit like an invasion, the backside of an invasion, and then they get the front side back, it's like, okay, that's a real cost.
Yeah.
So one nice thing for Charis here is at least there is one thing you can be doing here is blocking and then using Convoke to aerial boost up a creature. But
This is 3, right?
Yeah, yes. No, trigger. Yes.
Before, yeah.
just double checking to make sure the synergies with the Brawler here is very apparent.
Looks like both of them swinging towards the battle, I believe. Or are we splitting it?
Looks
One
like
to
the
face,
Brawler's
one
to the
battle.
face, yeah. But Javier picked up an aerial boost of his own as well, so it might have a boost off here.
A boost off indeed.
Yeah.
You go to 16 and you go.
Oh boy. All right, but the battle still stands, so.
Not for long, Alien. Now with just a land,
That's gonna be it.
No way to
Jeez,
come back.
Man, that was a beating.
That was a beating.
Javier just found so much stuff off the top of his library and just able to refill. It's like, sure, you think the Sunfall done and dusted, but nope, just able to come back from there.
And I mean, Javier really had to have that Sunfall on that turn. Charis really had just a ton of pressure there and had a really good draw, was very favored in that game if it wasn't exactly on turn 5 Sunfall. And I guess that's why you put that card in your deck, huh?
Turns out it's a pretty good rare, so draft those ones.
Yeah.
When we come back, friends, we're going to have plenty more magic from the draft portion of the Pro Tour, so don't go anywhere. Simon Nielsen versus Nathan Steuer up next. Welcome back to Pro Tour, March of the Machine from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister, and we have one heck of a matchup for you, friends. Reigning world champion Nathan Steuer up against Simon Nielsen. Team handshake, let's go.
They're crushing it.
They are absolutely crushing it.
This team making up half of Pod 1 for day 2 is so incredible that this team just every single Pro Tour is really showing us, especially how to draft, but really that they're one of, if not the best team in the world.
They sure are. They can make that claim pretty darn soon if they haven't so already with the results that they've been putting up. So let's jump into this head-to-head here. Nathan Steuer up against Simon Nielsen. Hey, they both started playing the same year. That's pretty cool.
Impressive.
And look at that already. 4 top finishes for Nathan Steuer. Unbelievable stuff from the young man. And they're looking. It's unfortunate when you have to play teammates. You know, it's not the best feeling in the world. But at the end of the day, you want to walk home with $50,000, which is up for grabs here for the champions. So.
But when you're playing each other at this stage in Pod 1, when you're kind of at the top, then not so bad, because even win-lose, one of the players is in a great position to make a run at this 12 wins to get into the top 8, and the loser, well, still in a pretty good spot here. One thing I will say is both these players are playing a red-black base deck here, but Simon's is way, way better. Simon's deck is a solid 9.5. And then Nathan, we watched Nathan's draft, and it was fine. He started off by picking
Atraxa.
Shieldred. Shieldred. No.
Atraxa.
Okay, yeah, maybe Atraxa. Elish Norn.
One of them. There we go. The other
Started off
one.
with Elish Norn, and then really derailed from white completely, but didn't really full-on go Rakdos until Pack 3. So just doesn't quite have the same level of power as Simon, who kind of just stuck with it from the beginning. Yeah,
it's an unfortunate situation where, you get this bomb rare and you really, really, really want to play it, but sometimes the cards just don't align that way, as we see the Spell Spear, as well as the... Is that a Boomtown Beatstick?
I believe it is.
I love that card.
I'm a fan.
So cool.
I am a fan. All right, we see a couple 1/1s join the party as well. And, equipping that Beatstick, being able to get a treasure, ends up just being really strong in this format, especially if you're splashing for some other bombs.
Oh, yeah. If you can get a creature in unchecked, perhaps on one of these Oral's Reinforcement Elementals, get a couple treasures, you are setting yourself up for a very, very good round indeed here. As we're going to take a look in the hand here, Gift of Completion. I'm going to take a squiz.
Yep, taking a peek. Nothing to hit off the discard spell, so just gets to incubate 3. I love the design of this. Most of the time when you have a Thoughtseize or a Duress style effect and you miss, it just really, really feels bad. But if you're able to get some value off this with this revelation, it makes it a lot more...
Excuse me, Dramatic Revelation.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to play this style of effect.
Ren's Resolve now. I'm going to exile a couple things. Ooh, a Pylon.
Oh, that's actually really brutal, because now Nathan is just not going to play a creature because you really don't want to just run right into Pylon. It's such an incredible card. One of the best removal spells.
Yeah,
if not the.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like, premier. Premium removal indeed. So things looking pretty good here for Simon Nielsen. Mr. Checklist Card on Twitter. Always jams out to some good tunes.
Yep, absolutely. Always one of our more animated people, not only in paper events, but especially in the digital era as well. See him dancing around, whether he wins or loses, to be honest.
He's always just having a good time.
I think I remember seeing him dance around while his opponent was comboing off against him. He's like, you know what else am I going to do?
Yeah. Just dance.
Then Nathan correctly there, not incubating that token during Simon's end step, otherwise being able to get piled on here.
Yeah,
so.
No one likes a pylon. Unless you're igniting them, of course. But
there you go.
Yeah. Alrighty, where are we going here for Nathan? It's going to be Dreg Recycler. So in case of removal spell, get that.
All right.
Unsealing Necropolis, that's a good one. So get back some goodies from the bin. I do see a Captain Lannery Storm in the yard.
Yeah, only had 1 card, so Simon was very much hoping to at least mill 1 creature over, and we did see in the last round, Simon unsealed and just flipped over Shieldred. Pretty good. Pretty good. Bring that one back.
That seems like a good time. Yeah, Captain Lannery Storm, so cool in Ixalan. I'm very much looking forward to going back to Ixalan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
year.
a really fun set.
Yeah. Dinosaurs and vampires. Vampires are my favorite.
What a combo, huh?
I know. Maverick and Galta, you know, still a better love story than Twilight. Got him.
I'll take your word for it, I guess.
You were never subjected to it?
I was not.
Okay.
Nope.
You don't. Alrighty, here comes the captain herself, Lannery Storm. Gonna put the beat stick onto her, swing on in. Oh man, and if there is any like instant speed stuff to use the treasures for, like Lannery just gets so big.
Or just sacrificing it, which we saw what was done to just equip there. So that was a large hit there for at least 5 points of damage.
Can Spell Spear
Flip.
joining the fray.
And everything really coming up Simon so far.
Yeah.
Nathan's deck doesn't have the best amount of removal. It's decent, you know, Deadly Derision or two, and then Final Flourishing, but there's no real huge catch-up mechanism. So if Nathan falls too far behind here, it's going to be near impossible to catch up.
Yeah. And at this point, sitting at 9 life, it feels like he is falling a little bit too far behind here to catch up. Does have the Drag Recycler, so can pad the life total, you know, if he needs to get into a chump and sack situation. Sure. That looks like a Deadly Derision.
Okay, Deadly Derision on the flip side of the spear.
Yeah.
Being able to get a treasure here. Good start.
So Spell Spear down. Good to get that off the board, but still has the Lannery to deal with, and this little elemental, he's just chilling for the time being. So, no, don't look over here. No threat. Ooh, Ramosian Greatsword.
These are some gigantic attackers here.
Ooh, this gives Trample 2. That is going to hurt. That's a lot of damage coming through.
Yeah, huge swing here. You see Nathan just snap, double blocking, really having no choice. And it looks like both of these teammates really highly value the Greatsword because Nathan picked this very aggressively as well.
Yeah.
And looks like Simon is putting a high equity on it as well. Believe Nathan even has 2 of this card.
Man, that hurts.
Yep,
Oh
double
boy.
for Nathan, a single great sword for Simon. And yeah, whoever has that sword first, definitely heavy advantage because, well, blocking with the great sword and equipped creature is fine, but definitely a much better card to be attacking with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to be swinging with that for sure. Now, only 1 creature left for Simon Nielsen, so Nathan doing a good job of keeping the attackers at bay. The great sword and the beat stick together would hurt. Here comes Jury, Master of the Review.
All right, getting some first strike here, very powerful.
So just being able to get some blockers down. The red cap heel slasher, he picked that up pretty late in pack 3, I believe it was. So just getting some first strike going there. That'll help against the equipped creature, whatever does join the fray. But Stormclaw Rager is pretty darn good.
Yep, absolutely. And that was pretty much the reason Nathan switched off from being black-white, was just picked up 2 Stormclaw Ragers really late.
Yeah.
And it almost looked like strange picks, you know. Paul and Marshall were calling that, and we're slightly surprised by how fast Nathan went away for a good 3-drop. You know, maybe not the absolute best uncommon in the set and as far as Rakdos. But he just immediately snapped it off and got off of it. Now this is really big. Invasion to sacrifice a creature here.
Yeah. I mean, ideally you're sacrificing other stuff. All right, so Invasion of Asgul down on the board. Target player sacks a creature and loses a life.
Yep, and this is having Nathan sacrifice one of the creatures, which is very important when it comes to the beamstick equipping on any creature. Nathan's got to prioritize leaving 2 creatures behind, otherwise this Rager with the beamstick and the greatsword is just going to be far too much for Nathan to overcome.
Alrighty, so Rager in. Are we attacking here?
Looks like it's considering it, but decides to leave it back just in case there were some kind of pump spell, maybe.
We still got the heel slasher here for Nathan Steuer. Decent blocker. The first strike definitely helps, and there's a Stormclaw Rager of his own.
Excellent pickup there when you got extra treasures laying around, extra small incubate tokens.
Yeah.
The 1-mana lifelinker that then incubates to do it again, so you can kind of munch on that twice.
Yeah, Ichor Drinker's great at that.
One of the cards that Team Handshaked and Team CFB are really high on was that little 1-drop that... you know, I didn't value super high, but the more and more I played with it, the more it really kind of showed its stuff.
You know, things that replace themselves are always pretty darn good, and we see Ichor Drinker joining the fray. Oh, there he goes. He got chomped on. Nom, 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 nom.
Long live the Ichor Drinker there, huh?
he lived about as long as, I don't know, one of the kings in Game of Thrones.
There you go. There you go. You're really hitting me with a lot of references that I did not
Don't
watch a ton of.
understand. It's
Yeah,
fine.
thank you, thank you.
Just TLDR, everyone dies. There you
Okay,
go.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, I guess I'm not watching that
The
tonight.
king is dead. Long live the king.
Wow, look at this.
Wow.
Look at this huge attack
Oh,
here.
hey, Valduk.
Valduk with 2 equipments to be able to get 2 3/1s into play.
That is awesome.
That demands a removal spell that will assuredly win the game here. This is a card that gets to pressure your opponent without having haste and without being able to attack, you know, the first turn it comes into play through any other means. So really impressive, kind of out of nowhere hit there.
Yeah. Oh man, if you hit any like sack synergies, which we'd see, Valduk next turn will be able to chew. We'll be able to start chomping on these tokens before they exile at the end step.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That is
Nom, nom, nom,
disgusting.
nom, nom. We like to chew on tokens as Rector Sacrifice. Yes, we do.
And right now, Simon likes to chew on current world champions because this is looking like GG unless you deal with this creature with Nathan being at 3.
Oh, Cheery again. And Stormclaw Rager. So Unseal the Necropolis, getting back some goodies. Definitely needs them.
Okay, looking to get an attack in there. Nathan's got to have a removal spell for this. Oh, just sacrificing it to draw 2 card or to draw a card off the Rager and hope.
Yes? Question mark?
Now, Nathan doesn't have a pylon like Simon does, so that would be kind of the one card you'd be really looking for. But yeah, it looks like that is it.
That's going to be it. Now, what kind of a player are you, Corey? Do you look at the top of the library to see what was next, or you just leave it? Always. Why? Why do you do that to yourself?
You know, I have to justify that I got unlucky, you know, in some way. You know, it just really helps me sleep at night. But yeah.
I don't know.
Most of the time I'm not at pod 1 in this draft. You know, I'm the squeak in at 4-4 and happy to be there for day 2 type of player.
I'm on team no look.
Okay.
That's not going to make a difference. Drag Recycler and Aki Scrap Chomper, 2 sacrifice outlets down on the board. Looking to get going here.
Such an adult decision from you.
Yeah, team never look.
All right, it looks like Simon there in the bottom left-hand corner. Opening hand of 6 cards, so did take a mulligan.
Getting the Furnace Gremlin down 2. This little guy, you certainly like to pump him up, because when it dies, you get a big old token to replace it. Talking about things that replace themselves. So.
Yep, another card that is really great with the Furnace Rager, or the Stormclaw Rager, excuse me. Just being able to sacrifice this and make a giant creature, or just make a small one and then just sacrifice both of them. So.
Yeah. Are we swinging? Oh, getting feisty. Yeah, okay. Double block. Coming in hot. That always feels good.
I just love the name of that card, too.
Yeah. That's really neat. So winning that little duel there. Gift of completion. Yeah, I'm going to get some more buddies to join the fray here. Hey, Valduk is back. No beat sticks this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Really powerful card in these Rakdos sacrifice strategies when you can get some equipment with them.
And it does look like opinions are changing on Rakdos Sacrifice a bit. You know, all of the limited experts out there are starting to say, I'm sorry, I underestimated your power.
Yeah. No, the one thing that's really impressive to me is half the time when a limited set comes into a Pro Tour, there'll be one team or multiple teams that just think, okay, I'm going to kind of force this strategy. Yeah. It's so much better, quote unquote, than every other strategy. The one thing that's being proven here is players can just draft exactly what they're comfortable with, and they're having results with it. You know, it was pretty widely thought of going into this that blue-white, blue-black were kind of the top two, and blue-white did have a great winning percentage as far as the 3-0s, but outside of that, everything was very condensed as far as what 3-0'd. So you can really kind of play anything in this format, and it is
we saw that yesterday.
Still one of my favorite limited formats, if not my favorite one I've ever played.
High praise indeed for an excellent set. Hanger Scrounger hits the battlefield, gives the counter to the incubator token, and we'll get the discard and draw.
Getting to loot here, see what Simon has. I saw a couple of lands. And did have that mulligan, so nothing impressive, but there is a pylon.
Oh, nice.
But outside of that, Ailey, it was just 2 lands in hand for Simon, so looking to surveil into something great. A convenient 5-drop like Shieldred, maybe?
Oh, yeah, sure.
But
let's get some Praetors going.
No surveil with the Drag. Recyclers sacrificing that incubate token. But instead, you're probably going to draw that one anyways, so.
Yeah. Nazumi Freewheeler. Vanquish the Weak, unfortunately, hits the bin. But Nazumi Freewheeler is excellent. When it flips, brings back one of your little idiots, you know, like the discardy rat.
Yeah, and also
anything
can
like
bring back your opponent's stuff, too,
Yeah.
if that is important. And we did hit a little bit of value in the yard by milling the incubate creature to be able to sacrifice that a little bit later.
Scornblade Berserker, looks like that's in the bin. That's also a nice card to recycle, I should say. Yeah, bring it back.
Yep.
Sacrifice, draw card.
So still pretty even board state here.
Yeah.
That Gift of Completion is really nice in these kind of Rakdos mirrors where you're trading a lot of resources, getting a surveil every single time to just fix your draw steps. Really adds up. Whoa, there it is.
A big old beat stick. Oh, you think you got a big beat stick. Wait till you see my greatsword.
And then here is a gigantic sword. So far, really advantage to the person who has the greatsword, surprisingly.
Oh, boy. You know, Corey, they say size doesn't matter, but greatsword, pretty good.
It is an impressive card, that is for sure.
Oh, boy. Alrighty, what we got here? So we flipped the freewheeler. What have we got there? Is that Invasion of Mercadia, I believe?
That was actually a great draw here. Being able to immediately attack that battle with the flip, super strong.
That's excellent. I believe that's Invasion of Mercadia, the one that flips into the...
right. Into the 3/3, discard, make 2 1/1s.
Make a buddy, give everything haste. Unfortunately, our systems are down. So we're unable to know for sure, but yeah, Invasion of Mercadia.
Yep,
Draw, discard.
Flips into the 3/3, discard
Chiron
card.
Yeah, that card's excellent.
Really strong, really strong. Saw Nathan make great work of that card last round against Javier.
Yeah, that's terrifying. If you can turn 2 that and then turn 3 kill it, you're running away with the game.
For sure. That being said, Simon does have to be very, very careful of how much you can attack because you have 2 creatures left back and that greatsword creature as well as a couple of other ones here. If Nathan has a removal spell to push through, it just might be too much.
Yeah. 21-10. Simon Nielsen's going to feel pretty good having flipped that and gotten quite a bit of value.
Yep.
In the time being. Just getting a judge referral there.
It's like they're straightening out something. Look like we got this sorted out.
Cool. It's Chiron Flameright. Hits the board. If there is any discard fodder next turn, go Could be quite a big swing coming in, but yeah, Simon Nielsen is at 10, so does have to be cognizant of that, especially with gain and drain effects like the drag recycler on the other side.
Yep, absolutely. Nathan just doesn't really have to worry about blocking at all here. Attack with a creature that has a great sword, and then kind of go from there. Attack with something else if you can. Every other creature is pretty outsized right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Simon or Nathan.
Oh, all right. Collective Nightmare before Jiri can get got. Or can get bigger, I should say.
Oh, but
In
look
response.
at this heads-up play. Nathan sacrifices another creature to keep it alive. And yeah, I think Simon, with the kind of, gusto that he cast that spell, maybe thought that that was kind of a foolproof plan there.
Oh, man, that is excellent. But also, Jiri dying is going to hurt like, yes.
Yes.
It's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. If that card does die, and I mean, the one way to minimize that damage is if you can give it -3/-3.
Yeah, so this isn't going to hurt so much. Like, Simon Nielsen isn't
Yeah.
dead, but next turn, oh boy.
Yeah, I believe this is just an attack for 3.
Yeah, we need an exile effect ASAP for Simon Nielsen. I'm not sure if he's got anything like that in the deck.
Yeah, something like, or even just something, I would say like Pylon, but yeah,
Pylon,
you're right.
yeah.
You're going to take so
That's in
much
the bin,
damage.
though.
You're just going to take 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You do have to give this negatives to be able to.
Yeah, or exile it, something.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, no pacifism effects in these decks.
And the Rager can just sacrifice it to deal 6 straight away to get out of combat here. But of course, that is sorcery only, and Nathan had that creature shrunk, so you couldn't do that second main phase to
Yeah.
win the game last turn.
Yeah, just
In
gotta-
case anyone was thinking Nathan would make a mistake, which he
Nathan?
does not
Mistakes?
do. Yeah.
I don't know this word. At least not next to the reigning world champ.
I can only do 20.
Wow, it says you're at 22. I can only deal 20.
Unbelievable stuff there, Nathan
Wow.
Steuer. Inevitability on his side. That 2 extra life drag recycler, baby.
There we go. That is pretty wild to being able to deal 20 there. Simon did have a large battlefield there, and looks like another mulligan here from Simon on the play. Not what you want to be doing when you're 8-1 at a pro tour.
Not entirely, but these decks are pretty good. Between the two lists, Simon Nielsen definitely had stronger card quality. So
Yes.
if anyone can get out of a 6-hand mull, well, 6-card mull, it should be him.
Something
Scrap
with
Jumper.
this quality for sure.
Oh, you again? Every single time I draft a cool rare, I never see it.
Never see it, huh?
What am I doing wrong?
I-
Searing Barb taking care of Velduk, though, so no more stress there. Nazimi Freewheeler causing the discard. Ooh, that's a lot of good stuff in the bin.
Yeah, milled some decent stuff, but did mill a 2-drop, milled Timuret to be able to
Yeah.
at least flip next turn, flip this freewheeler and start driving away with a couple other powerful cards in the graveyard.
This is like the vroom, come with me if you want to live.
There you
Driving
go.
away, Oh, man. Rats on bikes. Kamigawa was such a cool set.
Kamigawa was a really cool set.
Neon Dynasty, that
Absolutely.
is. Alrighty, where do we go from here? So we got the Drag Recycler. We have an itty bitty incubator token.
And I think Simon had at least 1 land, maybe 2 lands in hand, so kind of out of gas. But just being able to flip that card next turn, whenever you have one of these cards that are really powerful to transform when it goes the mana value into 1 more of the mana value, those end up being some of the better cards because they just naturally curve into themselves.
Yeah. Here comes Invasion of Arcadia once again. This card is really, really good. I like it a bunch.
Yep, big fan. A little thrill of discovery with extra bonus on top of it. I just love the battles. The battles create all these sub-mini games, especially in combat, where your opponent has to really prioritize leaving a creature back, maybe even if your opponent doesn't have a battle, because if they play it and attack a battle, you kind of fall really far behind. So adds another layer of complexity here.
Yeah. Drag Recycler getting in for 2 on that battle. And now we have Freewheeler and Aki Scrap Chomper. I think we're going to see a flippity flop here. So Freewheeler is going to get Timmy back. Oh, no, not. In response, dead.
Yep.
Oh, that hurts. Use all your mana and you don't get the flip. Oh, man.
And the one-of. Had the one-of Final flourish here to be able to deal with that. Not a single other
Unbelievable.
card in Nathan's deck could have interacted there, but that was a huge
Jeez.
swing.
Oh man, that hurts so much. And gets to flip this, so we get the flame right now. Whoo.
Yeah, and if that didn't work, you would have had a blocker to block this so the invasion doesn't get dealt with. That was a gigantic swing for our reigning world champion.
Unbelievable stuff. And getting Timoret back, we saw yesterday Timoret doing work in one of our feature matches.
Yeah, against
Just
Eli Cassis.
unbelievable. Yeah.
The Eli battle there
Yeah.
was incredible.
Get the Spell Spirit down on the board now, too. Going to flip that immediately. Down to 14 goes Simon Nielsen. Nathan Steuer at 17 with an imposing battlefield indeed. Will we see an addition to the board with a discard to try and get this game over and done with ASAP?
Yeah, and I really like what Nathan did there, putting the counter on the better creature here, putting it on the flip side of the invasion, just to really play around Vanquish the Weak.
Yes! Let's go!
Wow.
Jerry, master of the review, hits the board. We see a discard with a flame right, a bunch of tokens, and we get to do my favorite thing in Magic, which is turn things sideways.
Hit the attack all button?
Yes!
Absolutely. And we do have the combo of the Recycler sacrificing these elementals to make Jury even larger.
Oh man, that's so good.
And right now, Simon has one good blocker with the 3/3 that you can block on one of these 2-powered creatures.
Scrap Chomper might be getting in the way here too, just to try and mitigate some damage. But yeah, in response to blocks, Chomp, Jury gets bigger.
Yeah, takes 6, I believe. Takes 7, putting Simon down to 7. And Simon's going to need something big here.
Pylon, Jury, all friends resolve.
Okay. Pretty good hit. If Simon has a land drop and can go Jury and Pylon on the now flipped invasion creature.
Yeah, the Kyron Flame Right.
Yeah, the Kari Flame Right. That's pretty decent. But the thing is that's really awkward is you have to do that before it untaps.
Yeah,
And if
otherwise
you do
can just-
that, you're running into the same problem that we were seeing last round is Convoke when you're behind is not great.
No. So how much would he be taking then? Jerry, yeah, too much.
Wow.
Too much. So Nathan Steuer picking up another win there with a deck that was, it was kind of just medium, right?
Yeah.
It was a little lukewarm, but absolutely excellent play there from our reigning world champion and just turning sideways when needed to.
Lukewarm deck, but a red-hot Magic player there equals at least a 2-1 with, like you said, kind of a medium deck. And he said if I got a 2-1 with this deck, I would be very happy. But gets a chance at the 3-0 next round.
He does indeed. So we're going to have plenty more Magic after the break at the news desk with Maria and the team.